The NFL regular season is officially over, and what a bizarre, unique, just strange season it was. I feel like every team that made the playoffs this season, we knew they were going to make the playoffs since like October, early November, which usually never happens. Not only that, but if you go to the draft order and you look at the teams who are selected in the top 10, every single one of them has at most 5 wins, and usually a 5-win season would give you a top 5 draft pick. If not, you still pick like number 6 or something. So overall, it's just a really weird season, bunch of terrible teams who all felt like they were tanking. Anyway, you see the title, I'm going to be giving my playoff predictions. No more wasting time, let's go. We get started in the AFC Wild Card with the Broncos playing the Bills. I'm pretty happy the Broncos made it. They just ended a very long playoff drought. This is their first playoff appearance since 2015, and I'm ready to see how Bo Nix does. Anyone saying we don't want to see the Broncos or Bo Nix play in the playoffs, you're just weird. I want to see Bo Nix. I want to see how he does. I want to see how the rest of this Broncos team does, but I don't think they're going to beat the Bills. I have the Bills winning. The Broncos could put up a fight. I'm not saying they're going to do terrible, but the Bills, they just have more playoff experience. They're just a better team overall. Next up, we have the Steelers and the Ravens, and this should be somewhat of an entertaining game just because these two teams are division rivals, but the Steelers have been super cold as of late. They've lost 4 straight games. They've just been playing bad football overall. That alone, and with how good the Ravens have been with Lamar Jackson and all that, I mean, there's just no way I see the Steelers winning this one. Give me the Ravens. Also, I'm checking the audio after I talk. It sounds like I have a lisp or something. I don't know. It's just weird, though. But anyway, our final game of the AFC Wild Card is the Chargers and Texans. And kind of similar to the Steelers-Ravens, the Texans are on a cold streak. And on top of that, they are missing a lot of pieces. CJ Stroud is taking a step back this year, which makes sense. He's a sophomore. He's going to experience a sophomore slump. But anyway, I have the Chargers winning this one. I believe Jim Harbaugh is, I don't really know, but Jim Harbaugh's a good coach. Okay, we move on to the divisional round, and the first game is the Chargers vs. Chiefs, and I so badly want the Chargers to win, but I mean, the Chiefs, weirdly enough, they are a very complete team. Even though they've not scored over 30 points in a single game this season, they are weirdly enough one of the most complete teams I've ever seen. Sadly, I'm going to have to go with the Chiefs. And then we have the Ravens and the Bills. And out of any playoff matchup we're going to be going over today, this might be the best one pre-Super Bowl. I mean, you have 2 of the hottest teams in the NFL. Not only that, but both of these teams' quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, are going to finish 1 and 2 in the MVP race. I mean, they are without a doubt the 2 best quarterbacks in the NFL this season. I mean, Joe Burrow's up there, but, you know, his team isn't in the playoffs. I wish both of these teams could win and move on, but, of course, obviously, one has to go home. And if I'm going based purely off vibes, I'm going to have to go with the Ravens. And to win things off for the AFC Championship, we have the Ravens versus the Chiefs. Another great game. And the Ravens are going to be seeking revenge for the AFC Championship last year and what happened in Week 1 this season. But I just can't pick against the Chiefs. I've picked against them way too many times. They somehow, some way, like some devil magic stuff, just pull out games. And I'm not willing to pick against them again. So hopefully they lose this time around. But I'm picking the Chiefs just because I don't want to jinx anything, because I've done that way too many times. All right, let's go into the NFC Wild Card. And I'm not gonna lie, I could see either one of these teams. I could see every single one of these teams winning their playoff match. But of course, not everyone can win. With the Packers and Eagles, it all depends on if Jalen Hurts is going to play. If they do, I see the Eagles winning this one, but if they don't, it's going to be a lot closer matchup, and I don't really know right now. No one really knows. I'm just going to assume Jalen Hurts does play, and if he does, like I said, the Eagles are going to win. Then we have the Commanders and the Bucks, and this is going to be such a fun game. I can't wait to watch this one. It's going to be a very fun QB duel between Jaden Daniels and Baker Mayfield, and I could see either one of these teams winning. But the Bucks, in my opinion, have more experience. Even though the Commanders have some veterans, I'm going to have to go with the Tampa Bay Bucks. To win things off for the wild card, we have the Vikings and the Rams, and this is a rematch of a matchup earlier in the season where the Rams handed the Vikings one of their 3 losses on the season. The Rams are also on fire right now, and this game could go either way. Like I said in the beginning, a lot of these NFC wildcard games, it could go that way. And if Sam Darnold plays like the way he did against the Lions, I don't see the Vikings winning. But if he plays like he has all season long, then I do see it happen. The Rams are on fire, though, so you never know. But I'm going to assume that Sam Darnold plays like he has all season, so I'm going to have to go with the Vikings. We now go on to the NFC Divisional round, and our first game is the Vikings and Lions, and it's really hard to beat a team 3 times in one season. We saw it with the Saints and Bucks in 2020. The Saints blew out the Bucks both times in the regular season, but once the playoffs came around, the Bucks beat the Saints, and it could happen right here, but I think the Lions are just too good to let that happen, so I'm going with the Lions. And then we have the Bucks and the Eagles. If you remember last year, the Bucks destroyed the Eagles in the playoffs, and then earlier in the regular season, week 4, the Bucks again destroyed the Eagles, but both times were in Tampa, and this Eagles team has changed a lot since then, and I'm going to assume they have Jalen Hurts back at this point, and I see the Eagles winning this one. And then we have the NFC Championship, the Eagles versus the Lions, two of the best rosters in the NFL. Both these teams could very well make it to the Super Bowl. These are the teams to beat in the NFC, but I have the Lions winning this one. They have just been unbeatable all season long. They just have maybe the best roster in the NFL. Definitely the toughest, and they might be getting David Montgomery back, which would be absolutely insane, because dude was a beast for them in the regular season. They desperately miss him, even though they're winning games, but like I said, I have the Lions winning this game, and they're going to be moving on to their first Super Bowl in franchise history. And then Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans, Lions and Chiefs. It feels like this has been in the making all season long. Two best records in the NFL. And like I said, the Chiefs have just found a way to, for some reason, win every single game that they're involved in. And like the most devil magic satanic way possible. So I'm going to have to go with the Chiefs in this one. I also don't want to jinx them, because I've jinxed them way too many times where I say they lose because it looks like it's the year they lose. Josh Allen's finally coming on the rise. Lamar Jackson's finally on the rise. And with the NFC has too good of an opponent. But every single time the Chiefs somehow defy all the, not defy all the odds, but they just somehow prove people wrong. And I don't want to be on the bearer of bad news again. I don't know if I said that term right, but you get the point. I'm going with the Chiefs just because I don't want to jinx anything. Lions, I hope they win. I hope they win it all. But sadly, I'm gonna have to go with the Chiefs. Just weirdly enough, they're the most complete team in the NFL. And well, that's about it. Let me know who you think's gonna win the Super Bowl. Jesus loves you, and goodbye.